see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Hey, this is Jason Rouse, and welcome to the Safe Word Podcast. On the show today, during the end of the world, Scott Kid.
Hi. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, Scott. 2 Ds.
2 Ds. It's good. You have a very show business name.
Yeah, my voice too. Hey, how's it going? Hey, coming up. It's this episode of what show is this?
This is the safe word. Do you have a safe word? Everyone asks. I don't think there is a safe word. I think it's called "Don't call the cops. I'm gonna come again."
I was gonna say it's usually stop, right? Like stop, like a stop sign. Yeah.
I get sent all kinds of terrible things. So before my coffee's done, I feel like I've seen Clockwork Orange like 37 times. I never get anything nice.
Clockwork Orange is. I never read the book. I saw the movie.
Yeah. You know when they got his eyes peeled and they're just showing him all these atrocities and crimes against humanity.
Yeah, they're programming him.
And they got him peeled out and he cannot do anything.
Right.
And they're giving him eye drops. I think of like cat piss or something like that.
But his song was it was Beethoven. Like the music was Beethoven.
Yeah, it was his trigger.
So whose would yours?
What mine would be, I don't know, maybe "Angel of Death" by Slayer. I have to be something appropriate. I've got actually my Planes Going Down playlist. Do you have an End of the World playlist? Okay, well let's do this. Who's on your End of the World playlist?
Okay, sure. Just the whole Black Sabbath catalog. Let's just
do that.
Not just that, but like let's just everything they've done. Let's just throw that out.
Very good call.
And then
very good call.
Probably like a couple of the early Iron Maiden albums, and then maybe like some.
But you could get by on the whole Black Sabbath discography.
Yeah, I mean, how much weed do I have? Like that's like.
You're not going to run out.
Okay.
And you're not going to get to hear the entire discography. So from the time it starts till the time it ends is the timeline that you got. You got so many hours logged in. There's literally a Sabbath countdown to the end of the world. You've got some inside crystal ball information. Okay. You've got the Spotify. You've got the Black Sabbath discography. And you've got a wheelbarrow full of all your favorite greenery. And you know by the last Sabbath song, it's over. But you don't know between the first and the last.
Okay, so is the plane crashing? What is happening?
Yeah, it's coming in hot.
Okay,
you actually pass out before you even hit the water. It's coming in so hot.
So I'm landing into the water. Okay. Because I'm trying to figure out, can I jump? Am I going to be able to tuck and roll at some point?
No.
Because I figure if I had enough weed in Black Sabbath, I'd be able to devise a plan.
Shit is flying around. People are screaming. There's an old man just shitting his pants next to you. And you put your seat back and put your headphones on and hit play and you hear...
Oh, wow.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. They're having dog fights down by the pool to occupy themselves this year.
But I don't know if I'd want Simon and Garfunkel, especially if an old man's shitting next to me. That kind of sounds like a slang term for that would be like doing a Simon and Garfunkel. But I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy that I would have to think about what album if everything was going to shit, man, I'd probably just, I don't know, Easy Living or something. Just take it easy.
Yeah.
You know,
Something
like
to put your feet up to. You don't want to grit your teeth anymore.
nah, just you kind of just let go at that point.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be like a Kirk Cameron like Left Behind scenario where like I'm stuck and I haven't been picked up in the rapture and everybody else is just on a death plane, and this is it, man. I don't know. I'd have to be pretty fucking stoned.
Maybe just like doo 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 doo. I. That's the first song, right? Kind of fitting.
Probably not for me. I maybe Flying High Again would be more appropriate, just because it's a little bit deeper cut.
No, I wandered. I know what mood you wanted.
But yeah, also, and that's not Sabbath. Neither one of those is Sabbath. But we're splitting hairs
What
at this
about
point.
Phil Collins?
I mean,
Something in the Air Tonight, or
Land of Confusion.
Yeah.
Or
Something. What is it? What is Phil Collins? Boom, boom, doo, 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 doo.
yeah. Or This Is the World We Live In. Oh
No. You would do that one? I'd have to have Muppets on the plane with me or something like that. I'd have to have puppets for that.
Superman, where are you now?
It wasn't the Spitting Image guy. Remember, that was a big '80s thing where this British puppeteer had done all these busts and parodies of British Family, and it went on to commercials and stuff, and they were really kind of very like a serial cartoon that had kind of come to life. It was all distorted and exaggerated, like those caricatures you get on Hollywood Boulevard here. So there was all this foam stuff. Well, they ended up running with it and had a good run. They'd done all kinds of music videos and advertising, but yeah, it was haunting. It was so weird, that video. If you're listening, it was Phil Collins doing, what was this, The Land We Live In?
Land of Confusion, yeah.
Is it The Land of Confusion?
Land of Confusion. Because that's the one that was remade by Disturbed. And they did a cartoon version.
They did. That's terrible. Disturbed. That's really bad. I remember being at Ozfest in Toronto and him standing next to me. And listen, there's a market. A lot of kids love that. They did.
But
they sold a lot of
even
records.
then, just bringing that up randomly, even then, that could be seen as propaganda against capitalism, because the way they did that cartoon was a lot of, just like G.I. Joe style, like
Yeah, that's right.
like tanks and stuff. And then instead of them having like Nazi flags, it had like a big S, which could be like a $sign. Or it could be socialism. I guess it depends on how you look at it.
There is a lot of like, that Pearl Jam song that
Right.
Todd McFarlane did.
Right.
That had that kind of heavy metal, which is one of my favorite movies, the movie Heavy Metal, the animated.
Right.
But
do the evolution?
Yeah. You watch that movie and you're like, oh, that's totally it. That's totally it. It's not even, why is there voting going on? There's totally, you can see where the blood is running.
A more optimistic person, so to speak, might say that it's bleak and sad and one-sided. But, there's one thing that's always certain, and it's death.
Yeah.
So
I know we should get these guns off the table.
Yeah.
We've eaten licorice. Yeah, it's been an interesting adjustment. Like we were talking earlier, you said you've been living in LA for 10 years, and you've done what I've been told is after 10 you're kind of local.
Oh, well, that's what they tell me, but I'm like,
let me know. Start treating me like accordingly, right? You throw me a bone out here, show business. Yeah, you were like, oh, I just stay for 10 years and I'll achieve some level of success. I'll be a familiar vampire.
Yeah, basically,
Right?
because it feels
but
like...
you never got to know. What were those let's do some corny vampire references. Remember the familiars? You've been a familiar in the vampire Hollywood, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm speaking for you when I say this. This city is ravaged with vampiric, blood-sucking shit knuckles.
Well, I mean...
Okay, tell me, let's go visit. 9 years ago, you show up here like fucking Axl Rose with a piece of straw in your teeth, singing Welcome to the Jungle. You step off the Greyhound. What was the first fuckhead Hollywood shit knuckle that you ran into? Was it a living arrangement or just a general courtesy on the streets or a conversation where you just scratched your head and go, is this guy, is this for real?
Oh, there was somebody who was like, let me tell you this is how you fill out an application. This is how you do an interview. You should say this, you should do that. I'm like, buddy, I've had many jobs before I came here. Like, okay, sure, you might have your own style or you might have your own like.
No, what they're telling you is well, whoever you are, forget about that guy.
Right.
This is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So get ready. Your reasons and your ideas and your common sense get lost. Mm-hmm. We're building spaceships.
Oh, okay.
And there's fucking cognac for you. You get a fur coat and some diamond roller skates.
Oh, wow. Those are good.
Oh, everybody wants diamond roller skates.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, I mean,
what happened?
Basically,
there's nights
I resisted.
I know. You can't resist more than the Ding Dong Show. I would go upstairs sometime, and you look like a disgruntled zookeeper. I'm telling you, you look like you just closed the monkey cage, and it was insane. I had 4 Swedish comedians yell at me on the Uber home after I told them to go check out the Ding Dong Show. They couldn't believe I had disrespected their intelligence to the extent it was amazing. And I go, I didn't have to even be there. He goes, aren't you going to come? I go, I don't have to. I'm going to ride home with you. It's going to be great. And they were livid. What? All you did was yell at these disabled people.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, we're also talking about the Monday night show at the Comedy Store and the Belly Room in a place that is already completely insane. And then the sun goes down and it gets crazy. And then the AM starts and it gets completely insane. And then add some hauntings.
Okay, but the
bag of rattlesnakes.
I would say like an initial pretense to this scenario would be that these are all the comedians that either didn't have the guts to really go for it and try and be like a real open micer and like have a real act, or people who just don't comprehend, what the expectation is, or just don't fit in for whatever reason, or are just hysterical, but in the most bizarre way possible.
Yeah, Brian Holtzman, one of the most beloved comedians in the Los Angeles stand-up community. Legend. Never not but hilarious. You can't take that anywhere else.
I'm
it's
pretty
the
sure
perfect.
you could.
Oh no, you can. I want to take it somewhere.
I'm pretty sure any of this could be associated with like heavy metal, with the club scene, with the EDM scene, like lot of it, because there's so many aspects to it. But it's just, if it's a very dry night and everybody's just I don't know, kind of like on eggshells because they don't know what to do, then the audience can be like, what the hell? But a lot of times with that show, it was super fans, a collection of super fans who would come and like get to see it live, because they've always been, I mean, I don't know about always, but for quite a time have been live streaming and posting.
I can't even wrap my head around how much digital content Don Barris must have sitting on. The amount of photographs and recordings.
It's
100 years of videotapes. It must be daunting.
And just every other type of media.
Oh, yeah. Mini disc.
Yeah, exactly.
I have...
Maybe floppy disk.
Yeah, totally. All this shit. Hard drives full of... Friends of mine have it. And none of mine's labeled. I'm actually going home to go through... I've been digitizing all... I have my first 3 years of my comedy career is all on videotape. That's cool. I'm going to put them in the chronological order and pull some best of clips and formulate a little kind of, I don't know. I'm not even going to sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to see what I got, because there's some old 20-year-old video footage of, actually my first show I'm going to put in and just show everybody how bad it still is.
As long as the lighting's
I
good.
wish they booed more here. They don't boo.
You're not allowed to.
You can't boo?
I literally got kicked out of, right before all of this happened, I got kicked out of an open mic of a place that
I've closed down open mics, but yeah.
Of a place that I basically kept warm almost single-handedly. Like a few of us would like do these, these spots and just entertain for like hours at this one bar until eventually it became popular, and I guess they got new owners and they put more money into it and drew more of a crowd. But yeah, it just goes to show about marketing, what some people can do. So like the place was booming, but of course when things are popular, then they get a little superficial.
Of course.
And these people weren't. I wouldn't say that they're very. I don't know if they've done comedy for a long time, the people who were putting on this particular open mic, but when they saw, I don't know if you know a buddy of mine, but he got basically banned from every open mic, and they just saw his name on a ticket and said, "Oh, you think you can do this one?" And they just said, "No, I'm sorry." And then I was like,
"He's been blacklisted at amateur level."
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, what about me? And they said, "No, I'm sorry, we're at capacity." I'm like, I understand if you have medical problems and stuff, but like, I kind of don't like fat people. I think it's a childhood thing. I don't know, but this woman telling me that
I wrote something fatso things yesterday, and people got angry.
I'm just saying, like, the unhealthy thing right now is that, like all these fat people are scared they're going to die because they already have like COPD and asthma and stuff. Well, jog more.
I said, get on your bike, fatso. That's what I put on Facebook yesterday. Get on your bike, fatso. Because I see people cycling, and to be a cyclist now, safest time in history.
Right.
Let's be honest.
There's no cars. Yeah.
I have a bike. I ride around the city a little bit, but I'm pretty selective on where and when. Because these fucking clowns with their phones, making turns all the time, running scripts while they're coming in and out of traffic. I get hit by a car at Sunset and Orange on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You see this? You see the scar right here?
Yeah.
I got hit by
tagged.
A Ford Expedition while I was on a scooter.
Yeah.
And it threw me.
Dude, they're not looking for you. They're not looking. And these girls have, we'll call them people. They don't have I'm talking as a I've never driven a car in my life. Are you crying?
No, I was drinking water. I was trying to clear my throat because I was talking like this.
I'm kidding. But I've never driven in my life.
Why not?
I've never.
Is it Canadian thing?
No, it's not Canadian. All my friends had their license before they were 16.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be grounded. I wanted to travel, and I knew if I didn't have a car, it would be very quick to just get in a cab and go to an airport, and to be mobile, and not have to worry about a vehicle, and at a place that I was only going to be in for maybe 6 months at a time anyway.
It's just that most people who have cars use that car to get to a job and then pay for the car.
I never went to the job. I never went to the car. I did it backwards. I said, no car, no job. Made a career. I picked a career instead of a job.
Why didn't they tell me about this in school?
Well, this is the thing, because they only gave you job or job. And then I heard about this career thing. I go, what's a job? And the guy goes, you go there, you fucking hate it. And then you punch a clock, and the boss is a piece of shit. You're all the guys you work with. You got one friend in there. he's the only cool guy in there, but yet you find out that he's murdered his wife 2 years earlier and he's on parole. And you hammer a couple of horseshoes on, walk out. I'm already hearing my Canadian sliding in. You must get that when you go visit home. You come back, you must sound like a fucking hick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? You got to retool yourself. Or you come across no one.
I'm trying to just think about it. Yeah.
No one will respect you. You won't get any respect.
No, they straight up dissed me. It was about 2011. It was off of Eximino at the GameStop in Long Beach. I was working behind the counter, and the manager calling from the other location, talking to me on the phone. I must have said something with a Cajun accent or whatever. And he said, "You gotta, don't talk like that. You sound like a fucking idiot." And I said, "Excuse me." It was like, like you might think my intelligence is low, but first of all, my emotional intelligence is pretty high. So I can understand whenever you're growling at me. So, what did you say?
Yeah.
But no,
don't mistake a courtesy.
But I noticed that, like, if that was going to keep happening, because another thing was I like to dress like a metalhead, so I had like dark colors and stuff. But I was perceived as
they have stereotypes of this here, in where you are in a class system.
Yeah, so
because there's a lot of the metal scene in California is Latino.
Well, they were just saluting white power to me as I was walking down the street.
Yeah,
I'm just like, my great grandfather on my mom's side's first name was Adolf, but it wasn't the same. He had a twin brother that was named Dadoff, but he died off.
Dadoff?
Yeah.
Died off?
He died off, but his name
Dadoff died off.
Dadoff died off.
Those would be good 2 knee tattoos.
No,
say it again. Dadoff, dead off.
Adolf had a brother named Dadoff who died. Who died off.
Dadoff died off. I don't know. I think that's a neck tattoo. I'm thinking about getting a brown tear on the back of my leg.
What is it?
Just like I killed a guy with diarrhea in jail.
Oh, I see. A brown teardrop.
Yeah, but not on my face, on the back of my knee.
On the back, you mean like your hamstring?
Don't you say back of your knee?
I don't know, man.
I have a birthmark that I thought was a shit stain on the back of my leg for 30 years.
I trained in medical.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember the name of this tendon.
A friend of mine that used to work a door in a comedy club in Toronto was a paramedic, and he said during colleges they would go and get hammered and do saline drips to get over hangovers.
Okay.
IV drips.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just don't drink
just rehydrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get fucking blackout drunk, wake up crippled, and all get IV bags, and then go to class.
It seems like a lot.
I don't like the blood.
Yeah, it seems like
squirrels
a lot.
me out.
Yeah, no, I had a situation in Louisiana where this guy was bleeding out of his arm, and we had to like stop it, and just the whole ride back to the hospital from picking this guy up, because like he had a valve in his arm that popped out, and like normally, your veins pool blood. They don't really they ooze it. They're like a drain pipe, not the water pipe.
Yeah.
The water pipe is the artery.
It ruptured a pressure point that made it projectile.
Right, because it created a fountain, basically.
I knew a girl had a colostomy bag that did that when she came.
And that doesn't creep you out.
Her clear, she'd have one. I go, why are the bags always see-through? And she goes, I have them custom made because I want to see what goes in. I want to see what comes out.
Oh, okay. Well, go for it. I can understand that.
She's old
scientific, yeah.
Plastic wine cork over her shithole on her
She
hip.
wants to make sure she doesn't have coffee ground, stools.
What's happening? When are they going to bring back stand-up? We're screwed.
Nah, I think it's really just.
I know you know now. I'm saying that too.
I think it's about prohibition, man.
Oh fuck! You been working on Tripoli's podcast?
No, I would. I guess I can do all kinds of stuff, but But no, I'm just saying, like, it's on the 100-year anniversary of Prohibition. I've been doing a lot of reading ever since this happened. I felt the same way when Katrina or even 9/11 happened. It's like when FEMA starts getting involved with stuff, you're going to have a lot of dust swept under rugs.
Oh, this is a big cash grab.
Yeah, it's
It's
a lot
a
of
big
insurance.
shakedown.
A lot of insurance.
It's a hustle.
That's
It's a bait and switch. It is somebody's making big league purchases right now on scales we've never seen in our lifetime. So everybody buckle up, because the comedy, you think it's me now. I'm putting out a special.
Do you think LA is just going to be super expensive and everybody moves out and the rent goes like super high and
I think the rent's going to drop significantly. I think it might be affordable for a change.
If the rent drops, then what's the export or the import? Like, what is the money? Where's the money?
People just want to cover their taxes. And as a renter that they can trust, I go, look at, I've known his family for 20 years. We're going to give him the mansion because we know that the windows aren't going to be kicked out of it and the bills will be paid at a minimum, because we can't get the $100,000 normally for something like
But
this.
you still have to pay 1% property taxes. What's the value on that?
I have no idea, but it's probably...
It's like 1.25.
It's better than selling it and waiting out the storm and seeing all of a sudden this property goes as high as General Electric. But this is the thing, because all these properties died and these big estates and large hubs of cash in real estate are going to be bought up in record numbers. Cities.
Somebody is. Yeah.
Cities.
Somebody definitely is.
Private companies are going to be picking up. You're going to see a big, real hard shift. Everybody's getting a hip check by a 250-pound hockey player right now in the boards. And I don't even like hockey, but I've seen a giant hockey player. Have you seen a hockey player? Mm-hmm. They're fucking huge.
Yeah.
And they got blades on their feet and sticks.
That's true.
And if you were on ice skates, those shit ones with a kid with the two blades to a foot, and you were shuffling out with a blindfold, and this fucking NHL guy, some just bone crusher, he's hung over and he's been retired for 8 years and his back hurts, and he's getting $200,000 to clean your fucking clock, and you're shuffling, and you're like, my beer's a little warm, guys, and your friends are all laughing from the stadium, and this guy, and he couches down, and he's got his stick up behind his head, and he gets under you and plows you fucking... You do 6 cartwheels before you land flat on your back. And break both of your legs. And that guy got $200,000. I don't know why this guy's doing this to you. But yeah, hockey players are big. Mm-hmm. And they're fierce. I don't... everyone's always... They see all the hockey fights on the internet, but they don't know how crazy it is to see a baby elephant on blades, swinging arms, and shuffling on ice at the same time. It's very difficult. Try and skate with a stick. Have you ever skated with a stick? It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, but not with ice.
No. Yeah, street hockey.
Yeah, and that was still hard.
What was the? You have growing up in the.
I grew up in Louisiana, so
What was the sport?
Oh, well, we have flat playing fields, so anything, basketball, football.
What's the most revered Louisiana team?
The Saints.
And then what is that? Hockey or
football?
That's football.
What is that? That's hilarious.
Yeah. I legitimately
What
don't
is
know.
that? Literally,
What is the
our
Saints?
expression is "who dat."
Who dat? That's hilarious. Well, when I started, coming up to California, there's no real Latino community in Canada, and they would say "a" at the beginning, and we'd say it at the end, or vice versa. So you'd hear like slangs that were so indigenous to Canadian culture, but other places using them in different directions.
Right. It's like oi, I, a.
Yeah. I still use oi because I immediately, especially if I meet people from Europe and I give them an oi, they're the only ones that respond. It's easy to get them out of a crowd because all the North Americans are like, "What's a fucking oi?" But you drop a harsh oi across the pub, and you'll get you can tell who's from Europe immediately.
Right. Well, we would say "huh" a lot.
Huh.
And "huh" was like, I comprehend. But a lot of people didn't understand that, especially if they were from out of town or something. And I could tell because I'd say "huh," and then they would repeat themselves, and I'd be like
a disbelief.
No, like
They
I
think
said,
you're
"Huh?" It's like I'm telling you that this is like. No, I understand. I'd say I'm not saying "huh," I'm saying "huh."
Well, look at what South Park has done to my poor country. We love it. We just like to mention.
Where the fuck are they though? Why aren't they making fun of this? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
right.
Where I said that at the beginning.
Where's the?
They stopped making episodes in December. Where was
They
the last-
should be doing some like guerrilla stuff.
What are they? I mean, what the hell? Making some
Yeah.
puppets or something? I had an idea.
Making some puppets or something. Great name for a show. With a fucked up Mr. Dress Up. What did you call it? Making puppets or something?
Yeah.
Oh, and the guy's got a trunk. What's in the puppets or something trunk? There's a gag ball for sure.
Oh, you mean like a trunk?
Yeah.
Not like a
A
elephant.
tickle trunk.
Not like an elephant.
No. Toy trunk.
I see. You say a tickle trunk? What is that?
When I was a kid, we grew up with this Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Mr. Rogers. We had Mr. Dress Up. And Mr. Dress Up had a trunk. And he'd open this trunk and there'd be sketches in it. And he'd start off on these spiels. It was nice.
Did he personify like a role based off of the outfit, like a firefighter or something?
No, he was an old man that lived in this made-up little makeshift town with puppets and little cartoon shorts, I think. Mr.
Okay.
Dress Up. But he'd dress up, he'd pull things out of, like he'd dress up like a wizard and then pretend he was a wizard and go into this puppet town.
Okay, so yeah, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember Sid and Marty Croft? Lidsville,
H.R. Puffin stuff
right? And
was my, even I liked the later stuff. What was
Did
it?
they
The
do
two
the
dogs.
did they do Banana Splits?
Yeah, they did Banana Splits. That wasn't as good. Like I loved all the flute and
Yeah.
It had I don't know what was America, but they that British invasion. Any kid that had a British accent worked in Hollywood, and if you were the British kid, those guys, look at the Monkees for fuck's sakes. That's because of the Beatles.
Right. So is Black Sabbath though,
Because of the Monkees,
because of the Beatles.
Black Sabbath. Yeah, it was kind of like any. There's like, oh, here's an icon. Here's what we're gonna do to kill it.
Well, hold on.
Nirvana
Hold
with
on.
hair metal.
But not the Monkees, but the Beatles. Their whole sound was from where I'm from. So
You played sitar in high school?
okay. Started off with where I'm from. Later went
The blues.
from where other people were from. So yeah, I guess in a way they're kind of like Peter Gabriel and all these other
All these
world
guys
musicians.
had old blues artist records. I was reading Keith Richards' and he said all we want to do is be a real good blues band. And all our influences were people, a culture and a place that we'd never even experienced. But we had the music and we idolized it so much and emulated it. Bo Diddley and all these various blues artists that they 100 years apart from each other, but had this love for the music. Yeah, that's art in general, though. You look at like the shit we're doing or did. It's done for now. I better be done. I want to see you again at the Comedy Store
I was
in July.
thinking, like, what if you have like an ice cream truck that sells alcohol, and you also have a stage on it, and you just roll through neighborhoods and do a show?
This is it. You know that heavy metal moving van that you see around Hollywood? It's painted all black.
Maybe.
There's one. It's an old cube van. Some guys. I don't know if it's even in existence anymore. You rent a U-Haul. You take it to a custom shop. You wrap it so it's flat black and it says booze for sale. You get 6 bathtubs full of ice and you line them up in the cube van. Jack Daniels. You want white or dark booze? That's what we're doing here. It's by the liter. Get your mouth over the hole. No cups.
Yeah.
All you can drink for $10. No cups.
Yeah, it's
No
not,
cops.
You can't get your mouth on
Holtzman
the whole.
on the roof with a fucking taser.
No, you'd have to. That might work. But if you have, I don't know, you'd have to like have a different delivery system.
Yeah, and a guy with a gun, because the cops are going to come around. Once they start seeing people get a little aggro and go, what do you mean there's no cops? And they go, the guy just lets you drink from the pipe, and you pick colors. You don't know if you're getting red wine or Jägermeister. That's the thing. That's great. Look at it, right? You do a fucking crazy Fury Road cocktail. You dress up like Tom Cruise.
I mean, we could just
You
get.
do a full cocktail off the back, but it's you. They pick colors. Everyone's yelling like Price is Right. Blue, blue. He's out. Shut up. Brown, brown. I'll take brown. You put your $10 coin in there, yank it, and then you get a fire hose of whatever color alcohol. It's all one color, no cup.
Right. It's all one color, no
All
cup.
one color, no cup. So you could get vodka, or you could get tequila. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know how many mouthfuls of vodka you can drink. 3 big chugs.
Not even one.
No, tequila.
maybe half of one.
No. Listen, things are bad. You're just trying to black out like that guy singing at my stairs.
I can't like port
you
it.
stepped
I
over
can't,
a dead guy to come to my house. People think I make this shit up.
I can't like put it in a container that I can seal later and maybe build a fire with it or something and cook a fish. I mean, do I have to drink it right on the spot? Is it my dosage?
No. That's the thing. This is the loophole of it. The guy's got a bit of coin. Okay. He's trying to make. He's trying to look at. He doesn't want to make it into a more rich people getting free shit or just. There's no class thing. First come, first serve. No cups. One hose. You get 12 different colors. They're all hard liquor, all alcohol. It's everything from an ice cold, peach. What is it? The beer that's made from pears. You drink in the summer.
You mean cider?
Cider. It's an ice cider, and on the other side of that is straight tequila, and it's hot. And then the other thing is wine, Jägermeister, vodka, and then like some sort of liqueur, like peach schnapps or something like that. And then rosé beside that, right? And you got to go up blindfolded and touch one of the pipes, and then you put your head down to the spout, and it's got a bit of PSI behind it. It's got a bit of horse kick to it.
Right.
So the first shot, you're not even ready for. Okay. So you don't even count the first one. You're just grateful because you've got open sores on your feet, and you've been in line for 3 days.
I see. So things are bad.
You've already sold all.
And
your
I
own
can't
piss.
put the vodka on my sores. I have to.
Oh
Drink it.
no! You can bathe in it. Guys are under their washing
Oh,
and sterilizing wounds.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How often does it show up?
This is like every twice a year, buddy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
this
you
isn't even worth it.
You can smell it. You got to drink. You got to drink. And you know what? Fuck it. Give me.
This is like.
And then there's one called the hot seat, and that's just Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
On fire. That would suck. That would suck. But you're Cajun. Do you get this? Is that racist to say it? Hey, I get this all the time. You're from Canada. You're used to frostbite.
Yeah, because Cajun itself is an English term.
So they assume that you can battle with the best of them when it comes to hot food.
I mean, that's whatever.
If you had your buddies from high school around, and someone said, "Hey, I bet you I can eat more hotter for you," what would you have to say? I'll handle this.
Let me see your gastric bypass.
Yeah, I've had some ghost peppers on pizza before, and if you want your immune system to go to 0 to 60, that's a good way to fucking get it up. You know, you can. It's weird.
That's what they're for.
Sweat beating up on your head. Yeah, it's good for. It's good
for
for
when
you.
you're seeing ghosts.
Is it?
Well, I mean, I would assume if you're hallucinating so much from a fever, like 104 degrees,
Yeah,
you should probably eat a ghost pepper. You know what I mean?
I like hot food. I went to that Joe's Chicken. Have you been to Joe's Chicken?
I think so. I've been to quite a few chickens. that's the thing. Tyson Foods, man, they took a big dive right when this all happened, and then I'm sure they'll rally because that's what they do. But a lot of companies are using that chicken. You know what I mean? Like a lot of fast food companies and a lot of grocery stores.
The distributor.
So yeah, a lot of these guys are
Well,
to
this
go.
is them smothering the mom and pop aspect of the economy. Anybody that had that little donut shop that the guy's wife and their new family are running with the fresh fair trade coffee shop, that's gone. That's a shit stain on. That's over. They'll never recover from that.
Right.
The landlord's going to lean on, like you said, in November. It's
Yeah.
like, it's going to get like, but everyone's so geared. Like, guns are flying out the window at the stores here.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can't get them going half enough. Everyone's.
Well, California's a little weird. They have like a lot of restrictions, but you can still get through all that. But the guns themselves are kind of, limited in a bunch of ways too. Like in California, you're going to have a 10-round clip. You can't. I don't think you can have like a silencer.
Yeah.
You know,
the weather's too good here. People come complacent and they start doing stupid shit. You're
Yeah.
standing under a fruit. Take them down to your old fucking neighborhood for a summer.
Right.
And then bring them back to
Where
Hollywood.
there's, like,
They'll be
hurricane
licking
fences everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
But we have,
where the
like-
weather can change and
Yeah.
you could be on the way to your friend's house. You're done. You're dead of exposure from the elements because you broke your leg in a fucking swamp.
it's not. We're not freaking these gentle touches. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, listen, I'm Canadian. I can take a snowball, but I don't want it.
yeah, sure, but I mean, I can handle rain, man. I can handle floods. I walked through a flood I had a girl break up with me. I moved out of the apartment, walked through a flood to the unemployment office.
Yeah.
Walked in, my freaking duffel bag was covered in rain. I'm walking up to the front
With a laptop in it.
Yeah, exactly. And and like the woman behind the counter says, "How may I help you?" And I just had to turn around and gather my fucking strength because it was just a crazy day. But
Yeah, it's like armed in our planes and trains and automobiles with John Candy, where you know John. He's just Steve Martin's like, "Are you serious?" Like, yeah, that's an experience.
But yeah, no, it's we're always prone to that though. I remember my senior year, I went on it was my freshman year of college. My parents took me on this ridiculous vacation in an RV from Louisiana to Florida and Georgia. But on the way, because we booked everything, deposits, blah, 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 all this stuff's already booked, we're going, but during it is a tropical storm. So we're literally driving through a tropical storm to go on vacation. Like the whole time, it's like ripping things off of the vehicle. It's like the spare tire on the back splits and flies off, and like
Judy Garland goes by on a broomstick. Yeah, it's Wizard of Oz outside the door, but the old man paid for it, and we're fucking going. So sit down and hold on to the end of the world.
Luckily, I don't think it was in Florida. Like once we got there, we were okay. But in like on the way in Mississippi and Alabama was a different story. But yeah, I mean, there was still like crazy moments even in between. But we're prone to dealing with disasters, I guess, is the moral of that story.
I've had to deal with frostbite. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. And we are back. We just had to go smoke a joint up front while the homeless guy across the street sang to us. Well, the other guy right above him was looking out the window, thought it was us across the street singing.
And then he realized that we saw him, and
he sings more.
He started to hide behind his curtain. I was talking about the guy upstairs.
Oh, upstairs, yeah, because he sees us laughing towards him, but he can't see the homeless guy with the samurai bun with the bugs in his teeth, with no shoes on.
Oh man,
he was picking up cat shit off by the garbage can by my front door and had it in a pile in front of his face. You can go on my Instagram right now. I filmed a little bit of it.
Maybe he's trying to make gunpowder, man.
I don't know what he is. I think he was digging cigarette butts out of that bucket of water in front of my door.
Yeah, he's probably trying to make gunpowder.
Really?
I just know that you could.
I thought he was trying to fucking build a gun to blow his head off.
Maybe.
Because he was baking in piss and shit in front of my door.
Oh.
In front of the Magic Castle. I'm like, are you a wizard, mister?
He definitely whizzes.
It's a weird. How would you describe outside? Literally, let's explain to the audience. I live behind the Man's Chinese Theater in a 3-story walk-up that I will be vacating at the end of the month. I'm heading back to my hometown for the first time in over 2 decades. I'm going to take up a residency in Hamilton, Ontario. So buckle up, Hammer. The daddies come home. Oh, the whole city's in post-traumatic stress disorder from the last time I've been there. They have a twitch. You ever see a battered housewife around her ex runs into her and her eye starts to twitch? Oh, this is Hollywood.
So. Yeah, I guess so.
They don't twitch in Hollywood because their faces are stitched up.
Oh.
Right? It's insane. Are you crying?
No. No. It's a little bit sunburned. It's actually sunny out here.
We only stepped outside for like 5 minutes, and I because of the lack of the exterior or the outdoors, it's a big ordeal to go outside now.
Well, I've been drinking a lot of milk, so I'm sure I'll be all right.
You're just eating bricks of white cheddar?
No, Swiss. Swiss is a superfood, and
Swiss cheese is a superfood?
Yeah, it's 5 grams of protein per slice. And
really?
Yeah, lower sodium, pretty low, full of calcium. It's also, good cholesterol.
Really? Because that's probably next to like an old white cheddar. A Swiss cheese is always a safe bet on anything.
Yeah, because it's usually real. You know what I mean?
Is that what it is?
Like,
I've got a taste for the real cheese.
Like if you're gonna have Swiss on something, it's probably gonna have holes in it for it to be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was always suspect because I grew up on animated cartoons and stuff, opposed to the real life cartoons I was watching in my head.
Right.
And when they showed American Swiss cheese, I didn't know that it came out of a wheel that had holes in it. And they'd slice it, and that's how... I thought the holes were punched into the cheese, and that's what made it Swiss cheese.
Yeah, my mom said...
Not the flavor.
Her dad would call it rat cheese.
Rat cheese.
Because rats crawl through it.
My dad used to call it rat cheese, but it was always dirt under his foreskin. Get your rat cheese, and he'd take a nail file and scrape it down onto a cracker.
But would he buy it from like the dollar store, or would he get it from like...
Oh, this is all free-range, organic, freshly squeezed rat cheese.
No, I mean the nail file.
I don't know what that was. I think actually when we hit popsicles, did you have those little popsicles with the sticks in there? They were like really cheap.
Oh, it's like a tongue depressor.
Yeah, Kool-Aid on a stick. And we would eat dozens of those, but he used to use those as mushroom scrapes. Worked in a lumber yard and at a fungus farm.
Yeah, it would make sense because it's a mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, fungus farm.
I lost my foreskin in a poker game.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
They called me the calamari kid.
Really?
Until I lost.
Oh. So you were the squid kid?
I'm the squid kid. That's a good name for like a porno where a guy who puts oil-based paints into his anus and sprays it out. But he's also got a tattoo of an octopus on his ass and then squid sprays them. I think there actually is an artist. There was an artist that actually did paintings by anal sprays of paint. But it all looked like asshole spray. It's just a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Can he draw a circle? Nope.
Probably.
No. I don't know. Maybe.
Draw it?
Maybe he's just
He's
one of those
painting, though.
vendetted art students. His teacher's like, you've got to have all this weight to what you do. And he goes, I'm going to put paint up my ass, and I'm going to rooster tail some Bristol board, and I'm going to get 10 grand a pop. And then he walked out of the class like Keanu Reeves in his acting school in Toronto in the 80s.
Did that happen?
That happened. He got kicked out of acting school.
Wow.
You know he's Canadian.
I know he was in a Coca-Cola commercial.
Yeah, he's from Toronto, Canada.
That makes sense. He looks Canadian.
I know. We're kind of stealthy. But you've been around. Look, how many Canadians do you know? 12?
Maybe.
Probably a third of the Canadian population
Maybe
in
more.
Hollywood you would know, at least.
My in-laws on my little sister's side are Canadian. It might be Toronto, Ontario.
Have you met a shit Canadian? Me excluded?
I mean, I've met a few. I played soccer with a few Canadians.
That were shit bags.
I mean, I'm Cajun, so it's hard to say. What do you mean? Like, what's your degree of shitbag?
Like, any of the women here in L.A. How many times has you been spit on by a girl in a public place?
No, just a homeless woman.
Ooh, mouth open or closed?
I think mine was because I was talking.
Oh, no, you got a homeless lady spit in your mouth. That's why there's no real concern of viral infection here. You get a homeless person in L.A. spit into your mouth.
I didn't pay for it.
You can beat.
I mean, I paid for it,
You can make time
but
stop.
not with money.
Yeah, you have to get a rabies shot in your stomach to beat an old pirate lady spitting. What do you got coming up? You got any gigs coming up? It's like, this is where we usually plug.
I make sure to get
up-and-coming.
certain vaccinations. I'm not anti-vaccination, but I am anti microchips. I don't want to have microchips in me. If there's a way to do yoga to deactivate a microchip, I'll find out. But
Where do you see things on Christmas? What's your predictions? And we can only.
You know what? This is a great thought, because that's when everybody's supposed to be spending money. You know what I mean? So
there's a vacuum on a global flat line.
What is the money going to be spent on? Who's going to make a profit, and why?
That's going to be a second collapse. Is all these businesses that hinge on holiday superstitions.
Yeah, you mean, yeah.
That have a whole merchandise lined up every year.
Rocks.
They make Christmas trees, and they're about 3 feet high, and they go on your desk, and 10,000 people get those every year.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this at a kind of sea level, and my family and my other families had this business for 30 years, and it's about to get sucked off the planet.
Yeah, I saw Purple Rain jelly beans for sale, 70% off.
What's Purple Rain jelly beans?
I guess they were just
Prince's Tears?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what they were called, Purple Rain. I took a picture of it.
Also lived in Vancouver. And a devout Mormon.
Really?
No, sorry, Jehovah's Witness.
I thought that was Michael Jackson.
No, Prince was a Jehovah's Witness. LaToya Jackson. And LaToya Jackson was Jehovah's Witness. And that was the big thing. It's that issue of Playboy with LaToya Jackson in it.
Yeah, I sold it in middle school.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I think I sold it for 10 or 15
She
bucks.
looks phenomenal. I can't even remember. I don't think I've seen that magazine in 20 years. We're talking, this is what, 89?
Something like that. 89,
Right?
90. I had
Even earlier?
I had 88 to 91.
Playboys.
Just a few of them. I had Cindy Crawford. I had Sharon Stone. I had Mario Hemingway. Okay. One of the Hemingways.
Yeah.
And it was just all these different.
Yeah, It used to be unknown, like just kind of discovered girl next door model stuff. And then these
Right.
like celebrities are like, I got a pussy too.
Right.
Let's take this to market. Peter Steele gets in Playgirl. He's in a goth metal band from Buffalo. And then all these like rock stars started to get into pornography.
Or like, or Sylvester Stallone, I think, did porn after.
Yeah, I think he did some softcore. David Duchovny also did some softcore porn.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, but he did his at gunpoint.
Yeah.
He got busted. Was he divorced before that or after that?
I don't know.
Poor Hulk. His buddy. See, this is the thing. His fucking friend hangs him out. He'd been banging this guy's wife for years. And they get tape on him. Well, how much money were they trying to get? Extort all that money out of Hulk Hogan?
Damn.
You know how many kids' hearts broke when Hulk Hogan came on that Greyhound's back in that snuff fuck movie? Looked like two horse saddles because they're tans, right?
Can you even see it?
There's an outline. I try to ignore it.
The version I saw was like, it looked like an old Nintendo game.
They look like people who do coke in Vegas and drink a lot of sugar drinks. So I've heard. When was the last time you were in Vegas?
Not that long ago, was it?
I was there in December. I went for the porn awards.
Oh, you know what? I went last year for that.
How was it?
It was crazy. I ran into a couple different comics, but also like.
Yeah, a lot of comedians book weekends at clubs conveniently during that.
And then I was able to interview quite a few different,
Well, let's talk a little bit about this. You move over here 10 years ago to get into stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Were you doing it at home beforehand? Or was
You mean in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was you had a local club. You were hitting a couple times a week.
Something like that. Yeah. Different places.
For how many,
but you'd have to
years
drive
or
like
months?
hours. You'd have to drive hours each week to go to the different. It wasn't like here where you'd wait for hours. You know what I mean? To get up.
Yeah, it's like a bread line here. I couldn't believe it. Pay to get on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They tried to do that shit in Toronto, and the local community shut it down.
Good.
Yeah, they were like, no, come on, man. This is when the fucking kids that were pouring coffees during the day or decide to do comedy at night, and they bring all their fucking Sarah McLachlan compilation album politics down to Daddy's fuck bus. And what happens on Daddy's bus? Fuck.
Right. Yeah.
It's all nuts, right? It's all nuts. Well, listen, I'm going to come back. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave the country. Hopefully I can get back. I'd like to be back here July 1st and see you at the store on July 1st. Because not only that is the July 1st is Canada Day, and following that is the 4th of July. And it's one of my favorite week to be in California next to Halloween.
It's actually the anniversary for me. That's my 10-year anniversary. It's when I moved. Was
Really?
July 4th. Yep.
So let's go and talk to some chicks with hair under their arms and crystals and do some heebie-jeebies and make sure that we can end up doing comedy again in July.
We'll see.
You're shaking your
I'm
head.
just
No one can
like-
see this. Yeah, no.
I'm just like, let's
I'm
find
throwing
a way
a
to
pa- I'm
get
throwing-
rid of robots. I don't know, something.
I'm throwing a paper airplane out the window. I know it's not even going to hit the ground. It's going to be taken out by one of those dragons I told you I saw you on Hollywood Boulevard. But I got a new thing I'm doing because I have to, because the business is no longer in existence. I'm going fucking Henry Rollins DIY this shit, and I'm returning to my hometown for a couple months to do a series of video diaries and have some friends come in and do some stories, and people can subscribe that on my Patreon account that is active, Jason Rouse 666. It's the Roust about my life after Hollywood is what we're going to be doing. So I'm literally going from one quarantine to another. And from what I'm hearing, the Canadian laws are way more stricter. There's like fines being hanged out. I saw some people told me in Asia, they're nailing doors down. Like they're nailing people into their houses. And they're banging on the doors. They're hammering nails. They're nailing you in public. Like, it's out of hand. Sweden has done absolutely nothing. Sweden's business as usual. Denmark's actually telling people not to use condoms, that it's over, that you can actually blow on people.
Oh, yeah, in Belgium saying that don't have orgies, you know.
Don't have orgies.
Poland, they're making people self-identify on an app in their homes.
If the President of the United States stood up to the podium and don't have orgies, America would be like, we're not into orgies. But Belgium is always fucking. Have you been there? No. I did a TV show in Ghent, and everybody looked like they were sexually abused.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a horny town. Everybody looked like they were somebody, but it was on the level. You know, you go to the Avian Awards. Everybody's on the level. There's no bullshit and kind of ew. It's the only place. It's their Oscars where they feel most comfortable around their peers with like-minded people. That are kind
it's
of
like comedy.
Yeah. These girls were on a Greyhound bus 6 months ago, and now they're getting autographs. You know, to people that are adoring them. I forget where I was going with this.
Yeah. No, whenever I went there,
Where?
To Avians. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was a crazy experience that turned into a whole
Oh yeah, there's
a whole nightmare.
It turned into Belgium. That's what it turned into. You wake up with someone else's sock knotted up, hanging out of your ass, bite marks in the back of your forehead, a loaded gun on the bed, and there's someone else's shit under your toenails.
Well, there was shit in the gun.
Shit in the gun. That's way gross. You put shit in the gun?
No, it had shit bullets. I was taught.
Shullets?
Yeah, shullets.
Are they like shullets?
Shullets.
Shit bullets.
Pellets.
Shullets. Oh, fuck. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Everything's fucked. This is a ghost town. I'm taking my toys and I'm going to take them home and see what happens. But I'd really like to be back here doing stand-up at the Comedy Store on July 1st for the Canada Day show. And then party in America for all the 4th of July for your 10-year anniversary. On your 10-year anniversary, I want to rip a line off your forehead at the Comedy Store. Okay?
No, that's okay.
Come on, man. I need this.
I mean, I get it.
I'm working on Christmas cards.
All right. As long as I get to wear a helmet or something.
Yeah, we'll set it up so you got like a glass.
One of those like
folding
dental hygienic face masks that all these like grocery store workers are wearing.
I get it. But no, this is post-cure. We're not any kind of issue with health. We're not. It's not going to be me and you at a closed-down comedy store doing blow in the desert. Tumbleweeds are blowing past. There's already an inch of dust on the patio out there. I went by there a week ago.
We're just going back into prohibition, man. We're going to have secret fucking casinos, and everybody's going to be collecting.
Yeah, underground.
Yeah. What the hell, man? Secret casinos. Look out.
You think there's going to be a whole new underground for entertainment?
I hope not.
Booze cans are going to be the new nightclubs?
I hope we just wake up and just decide, hey, let's just keep working. Let's figure out a compromise, you know? Because everybody's just worried that they're going to compromise their immunity or someone else's. It's like, we got to figure something out. Maybe
got to figure something. Well,
spacesuit.
There's no choice, but the greatest minds and engineers in the world have to get down to business right now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but people still have to eat every day, and industry.
Oh, for sure.
Like nobody's eating chicken because nobody's watching football games. So no one's buying like endless amounts of chicken and
Costco.
I mean, yeah, but not enough to like really go for it.
People are going to have to eat their pets.
Nah,
you know what? I
teach
can't
your
wait.
pet to eat fish.
I want to eat an influencer. They look delicious to me.
What is an influencer?
Like those Instagram models that you see parading up and down Hollywood.
I
They don't
understand
wear
that.
masks and they just spray paint. Their shitters are fucking out. Anyway, I want to try one.
Yeah, essential workers.
I don't think they're hookers. These are just actresses
I said
still looking for audition. Oh, yeah, hookers.
I just said essential workers. I didn't say hookers.
I've never seen any hookers on the streets of L.A. Have you? Well, Santa Monica Boulevard, but those ones,
If you go,
they want blowjobs while you're giving them blowjobs.
If you go past I-10 down Western and come back up, yeah.
Well,
But not right now. Maybe when they have hazmats and like whatever.
Shitting into a bucket with a fucking balaclava on and busy. I'm just making room for a customer hanging a rat into a fucking KFC bucket hazmat.
Maybe. KFC hazmat. Yeah.
But as far-fetched as that sounds, you've seen people take unconventional things and use them for conventional things. Like you can see a hazmat KFC guy.
I saw a guy who straight up had 2 bags because he didn't have any masks or scarves or anything. He took 2 grocery bags, put one on his face and one on his hand. And he's walking around, and the guy who's like the night shift leader or whatever, he's like from, I'm assuming, somewhere in South America or Africa or whatever, but he's like, do you see this man right here?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you mean the one who's covering his airways with a plastic bag? Is that normal?
No, I can't help you either. This guy is actually the mayor. He's our guy. This guy knows what he's doing.
Is that normal? Come on, no.
Yeah, that's one thing we were talking about earlier. The potency for the crazies are through the roof.
Oh,
Someone left the door open at the Funny Farm because Hollywood is littered with lunatics.
Oh, no, they literally opened up the prisons, though. They said, if you have 2 or 3 people in your cell, we need to make that more space. We need to do this based off of... So Trump has...
people getting arrested?
Trump's lawyer is being released from jail, and he's now on, like, house arrest, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting... When you don't have space for
there's
anybody...
people, small offenders,
What do you think is going to happen with stand-up comedy specials?
I mean, what does that even mean?
So, say somebody had a stand-up special that they recorded in Denmark, and it was really funny.
Okay.
What would that mean?
Where would it go?
Sure.
Depends on who you're willing to sell it to.
So you're saying somebody would probably want to buy that?
To distribute it or own rights to the amount of hits that it pulls.
Or I could just put it out myself.
You're probably better off being independent. And going back to, I feel like this is like a grassroots freaking thing where they're trying to push
the DIY aspect.
They're trying to push everybody. That's why Home Depot.
Everybody just got into Black Flag in like 1 month.
Like, is that what they're about? I didn't realize that. I knew he was on KRVS. No,
His early days as a musician was some of the greatest moments in rock and roll.
Right, but no,
I don't know what he does now.
He recently was doing radio out here.
He's a weekly column that I've never read in LA Weekly. Travel diaries and stuff and things like that. But he's out there. I see his posters in countries and different languages. You want to talk to the guy who, an American who's used his passport to the fullest would be Henry Rollins. He's Tom Rhodes and Henry Rollins are probably the 2 most traveled American independent artists that this country's produced. As I talk about that on my ass, Tom Rhodes and Henry Rollins, their passport stamps are deep.
That brings us to another point. Like, where can we go? There's no immigration. They're shutting down everything. Can we leave?
I don't know. We're going to find out at the end of this month because I'm closing up shop until the kids want to come out and play again. Daddy's hanging up his shotgun and picking up his Canadian fishing rod for a minute because what we see on the streets, this is our go-to. There's no officer down. Can you help me? Now, it's you in a knife fight with a guy who was singing to you an hour ago in front of my house with no shoes on.
No, that's why I wear a pair of pants that fit me and I keep a belt.
Yeah. A lot of people have never had to run for their lives before.
I'm wearing flip-flops.
Or kick a homeless guy to death and throw his body into a trash can 3 days ago.
You can just slap him. You know, the same way.
Or you bite their feet.
I've had to slap somebody back to life for a living.
Yeah, that's because you don't do speed with people who don't know how to use it.
Well, it was at a punk show.
You do look a little Ryan Stoltz. I'm talking Pulp Fiction, not Mask.
That's funny. I knew a chick who looked like Rocky Dennis.
Oh. She kept a purse on her forehead? Oh, that's a bad look.
She may as well.
The Ryan Stoltz, Rocky Dennis. I've used that on the comparison to a lot of my friends who do not talk to me anymore because of that photo. That and Mrs. Shit Whiskers, that lady. If anybody's listening out there, it's a thing I do. I send out the same photos for the last 20 years. It's either Boomer's asshole, which is that blown out mud whisker, the gaper. Andy Dick said it was disgusting. Right? That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear.
Pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Okay, I'm not bragging. Tori Spelling's husband, Dean McDermott, saw it. Thought it was disgusting. I think Barris has seen it. Didn't like it. Countless people at the Comedy Store. Toby, who works the bar at the store, seen my buddy's asshole 9,000 times.
Jeez.
Boomer Phillips.
It's too many times.
Boomer Phillips on Instagram. You hit him up and you go, hey, man, what's going on with your asshole? And why does your buddy keep sending us pictures of it?
They need to put a cap on that.
It's out of control. I've opened Pandora's box, and it's the shape of a gaping shit locker with a chewed up, like a dog's tooth. Oh, I almost threw. I can smell. It's the only photograph that you think about and you start smelling, because we'd have all this like hairy chutney all around the hole because he had pinworms so bad that it would burp up all this congealed mucus.
It's not necessary.
And an egg farm. I can't help it. I haven't talked to anybody in a month. You're the only one brave enough to come over. There's been people going, hell no, I'm trying to block your number.
I don't understand what the hell's happening, man. Like, why don't people just read more?
Well, you know, yeah, totally. But you know how lethargic and people really want. Look, you don't have kids, do you? No, because people want to have a fix to let them know their kids are okay, so they get into this sheepish mentality. And but you know what? This is called this Darwinism you see over and over again. It's collecting all the fat people and all the babies. Two people.
I was just saying, I got kicked out of an open mic, and this woman tells me, she's like, we're at capacity, and if you're a fat chick, don't say you're at capacity. I could have told you that a few meals back, but like also, like the person I was telling, I wasn't,
because your friends are fat. I don't get to come and watch the haha.
But I couldn't boo, but I wasn't booing. I was just saying, hey, be funny. Because the woman kept screaming, shut the fuck. She was screaming off the stage, shut the fuck up.
To get the crowd back on her side.
Which was like, yeah, it always works.
Shut up. I never lose my cool. I'm actually the calmest person in the room. Well, I'm scathing.
Well, that's why I said, well, then be funny. Yeah. And I just said it like that. And then the host is like, shut the fuck up.
You're a Sunset Strip guy. You're a West Hollywood comic. So when you go into coffee shop country and you got to deal with them like, how could you challenge me? You know, and you've had, it's been 10 years before someone's looked you in the eye at these various places, right? So you're a grizzled asshole when you go over to fucking Starbucks country because of the experience, the real shit that you've endured at these various places. Mm-hmm. You're working and been around some of the most eccentric, humorous and minds and
backstabbing and fucking
all of it.
Douchey and ghosting.
You've seen it from the most magical, talented moments to the lowest scumbag shit tank. The spectrum of that is so
and I accept them all.
I love it. But on that note, that's a high note. So July 1st, clean, conscious, collective, hilarious show. Thanks for being on the show, Scott Kidd with 2 Ds. Where can people find you?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'll reveal my location. We'll see what happens.
Do you have an Instagram?
Just kidding. Yeah, you can find me at the Scott Kidd. That's TheScottKidd on Instagram, or on Twitter, which I'm terrible at, DevoKid.
Wicked. And don't forget to sign up for my new Patreon on the Patreon, Jason Rouse 666. I wish I had shows, but as it stands, June is supposed to be West Coast Canada, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and a couple other cities. And then July was going to be LA. And then August was supposed to be, this is what August was going to be: Switzerland, Geneva, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and Norway in August. And then September, October was going to be all of Ontario, Canada. Then November here. And then December, January, I was going to hang out in Vegas. And anyway, maybe my special's coming out July 1st. Maybe it's not.
I think just keep doing your thing, man. Before we go out, just say check out the Cross Trilogy movie, Cross Wars 3. You'll find me.
Very cool. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your quarantine, and thanks for listening.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.